there everyone, thanks to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers. Tonight I'm going to do how does he or she feel about you. Just ask, how does he or she feel about my channel view? How does he or she feel about my channel view? Vulcan upright, Prometheus in reverse, Zeus upright, Thor upright, Garuda upright, and Poseidon. The overall energy is beauty. So I get the impression from these cards that your person is quite powerful. They're obviously in a leadership position, some area of their life, or they have been in a leadership position in some aspect of their life. I feel this person's very determined, very clever. I feel they're a little bit selfish. They appear to be a traveller and very dynamic. I wouldn't be surprised if they liked water sports or water activities, or they live near the ocean. That's what it shows very clearly. I feel this person has the ability to be very intellectual, but I feel they've put down their sword to focus on whatever they're doing, to focus on a more practical craft. Seems to me they used to be in an office job, but they've since swapped out. And I feel they swapped out because it wasn't satisfying them. And I feel it was quite a selfish area of work. They had a lot of demands on them, I feel. But also it shows that this person is getting jealous. I think they understand that you have options. Because I get the impression from these cards that they want to fly in and ensure that you understand that you are theirs and theirs alone, because they've built up a devout passion for you and a devout devotion. This is a person that gets around quite a bit. I feel you often find them with a friend. I feel they can be a big mouth. I feel they can be aggressive with their words. I feel they can talk a lot. I feel this person has underestimated you. There's something about these cards where they're just firing up. I feel before they were focused on their work. They can talk their way in and out of anything. But I feel they're watching you as well. And I get the impression they just want to touch you. But also they're a person that wouldn't give their right arm for you. So there's a funniness about them. I feel this is a person you feel you've had difficulty with, actually. But I feel this person has become stronger in their passion for you. And it really indicates to me that they are on their way. But I think we've seen this in a previous reading where they want to take charge of the situation. And the reason this person wants to take charge of the situation is because their passion for you is overflowing. I feel they've been away from you and there's some type of growth they've undergone. It's not exactly a negative situation from the point of view. There's only one card that's in reverse. So they have this selfish side which isn't fortuitous for any relationship. But they also feel that they are the big shot. And because they feel that they are the big shot, they don't want anybody else to have you. So I feel from this card, it gives me a Chariot feel, like they're on their way quite soon. And they're almost going to step out of the ocean and into your life. And it will be born of pure jealousy. It really gives me like a threatening feel, these cards. Like they feel very threatened by other men around you. And I don't know where this has arisen. Because obviously there's something about there that isn't giving. They're not giving to you. They're not very giving. They're not very charitable. It's almost like they wanted you to make a sacrifice for their life and give nothing in return. You know, it's like they want to take from you, but they don't want to give. So I feel from these cards that maybe your person was a big lover person. I feel that at some stage they had position, whether that's like corporate position or something else. They had power. You know, that could be in a social group as well, or in a type of group setting. They had a type of power about them. But this person you're asking about is very assertive and very clever. And I feel that's what you have to be wary of. Because it's almost as if they take what they want and they leave. I feel they are travelling essentially. But you really find this person quite sexy. I feel that you would be fulfilled by them. But you have to be wary of their trickery. Because there's some kind of realization that's happened with this person. This person's almost going to fly in quite aggressively and peck out the eyes of anybody else that's around you. That's the impression I get. Scare them off. I feel they really focused on their money, like they have some type of issue with money where they're awash with it. They want to be awash with money, but they want to spend it freely and do whatever they want to do. I feel this person could be an air sign. Air and fire, they have a lot of that in their chart. Air, fire and water, so it's quite a essentially it's potentially an explosive mix. It shows me here they want you under their wing. They're starting to realise you are the beauty in their life, and they're trying to conjure something to ensure that you remain theirs. So these feelings must have just hatched in them, and now they're on the tirade. Because there's a loyalty there. So I really feel you have to be wary. You have to be conscientious in this situation because this person's on their way. But they're selfish. I really feel that they're starting to realise you make them really happy, that you are their prosperity, that you are their beauty. But it's like there's something in their life that stops them from being genteel about the way they approach a person. So I get the impression like this is like, if this is a sexual connection, it's very hot. But if it's not, I feel that this is a person that can be pushy in romance. So you have to be careful they don't bowl you over, and they don't just expect you to relent, because I feel that this is a person that has power, and they can over things become very overpowering very quickly. That's the impression I get. And you can become draped in their control very quickly. I don't think that you would reject that. I think you'd find it a turn on. But the thing I'm talking about is the ability for this person to just turn monstrous at the click of a finger, at the click of your fingers. They just have a snap point. And that snap point is very controlling. So if you do decide to go into a relationship with this person, which it looks like they will insist upon, then you have to take all that into consideration, because I don't think this person's going to take no for an answer. Okay, that was deck 1. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings. See you next time. This is deck 2 of How Does He or She Feel About You? Pick a card. You choose a number, 1 or 2. The timestamps are in the description box below. That's how it works. So this is deck 2. How does he or she feel about my channel viewer? How does he or she feel about my channel viewer? Vishnu, Hypnos, Set, Sanus, the Jade Emperor, and Aries, Anubis, Protection, overall energy. Okay. Not sure you can see within there. I really get the impression from these cards that your person is as envious as sin about your present situation. I feel that if you're in a relationship, there's been arguments that you have had to pacify again and again and again. I feel it's a cycle. I feel this person's very intelligent, very cutting with their words. This is somebody who often leaves the nest and returns. So I get the impression that they could make some kind of threat and to leave, and they leave for a day and then they return to you. That's the impression I get. I also get the feeling from these cards that it's a control tactic of this person because they're very intelligent, very sharp, very cold. And I feel that's how they get one up on you, because they do these things without much thought, or they give it a lot of thought, but they do it without much consciousness. It's like the movie's so cold and so calculating and so ferocious and so cutting that I feel they have you, they've entrapped you, they've entrapped your love into quite a concentrated space. And I feel they take these actions towards you because they're jealous. But not only that, this person's changeable. I feel they have a very organized mind. But something about this person is anti-establishment. They do love you. They are devoted to you. They want a prosperous future with you. But I feel it's really hard to find your balance in this relationship because of these games. I feel that their feeling towards you at the moment is kind of very sneaky. I feel they're trying to find out about you. And I feel there's two sides to this person. It's like they can catch the snake or be the snake. That's the impression I get. And I feel in the past this person did a dance with you. And I feel they told you fibs, but you did make them extremely happy. They felt at that point they'd found a sexual partner they could be devoted to. But then their heart froze over, and then it melted again. And when their heart melted, they became extremely jealous, and they wanted to catch and kill every man or woman that you'd potentially slept with. And not only did they want to catch every man and woman that you potentially slept with, they wanted to eat them alive as well. So we're talking about someone who has a jealousy problem. But not only that, somebody who has genuine feelings but also likes the game of entrapment in their relationships. And depending on what type of character you are, I'm not sure that suits you, because you're a very balanced person. And I feel that you, to a certain degree, live in your own world. Like you have a simple type of love, a simple type of devotion to this person that's very intense. It's like you try to find your balance in this love relationship. And you've worked through issues of jealousy. Plus you've been in a stage of rest. And I feel on an emotional level, this person has been in and out. Because they do have quite a cold heart at times. But I feel this person's concocting a plan as well. So there are a combination of things, particularly into the future. I feel the aggression has to settle, the calculated moves have to settle, the love dance has to stop, the envy has to be worked through. And then they have to find their sanctity and find their focus in this situation. Because it says there's luck there, but it's like total chaos as well. This is a person who has a funny type of personality because they can be extremely aggressive or they can be very cool, calm, collected. And I think you find that quite confusing if you are quite acquainted with this person. But if you're not, then it shows that this person feels very protective towards you. But I feel that there's a darkness to their character. They're like cunning, very cunning. And I don't think you understand how cunning. There's some kind of leadership to them. I feel this is a soul connection, quite a strong soul connection, because we've got some powerful gods in this set. But it feels to me like the Tower is on its way in their personal relationship. Not only for the relationship itself, but in their personal life. And I feel that's what you're trying to contain yourself from. I feel you're trying to avoid the folly in this situation. You're trying to find a better day for you both. You're trying to focus. You're trying to really keep strong for this person. However, I feel their attitude or whatever placement, whatever situation there is, doesn't help this situation, doesn't help your love affair. Because I feel that this relationship can't move forward until they have their tail moment, and it's imminent. When they have their tower moment, they will be thinking about, they will be grounding those love emotions. So I feel this whole situation has to be moved forward because this person has to mature in some sense. I mean, they seem pretty strong, pretty powerful, pretty, sometimes they're unbalanced, sometimes it's a funny type of power. It's like a very concentrated power. It's one that they can control, and it's one that ultimately sees their downfall, because I feel in terms of money they've been very greedy, but there's been a friend around them who's been like a snake who's led them into the forest. Must be a very bright person, somebody who has a high IQ. That's the impression I get. But also there's something about this person which is poison, and I feel that it's their control tactics. I feel this person might have a beard or something if they're a guy. If they're a girl, they have very long hair. But they also seem to travel quite a bit. Something's going amiss with them. So at that point where they feel they have control, this is the karma. This is the karma for their behavior. When they feel like they have control over this situation, control over you, control over their life, something falls apart, and that's their karma for trying to control the situation, control the relationship, control their life, control their career. Something just falls apart. And I feel because they're so cocky that they'll be declaring war themselves. They'll go at this tower moment full force. It gives me like this person has like a godlike complex, but they're like dark. They're dark. I feel there's a separation between you actually. Very, very religious person. So the tower moment has to happen to be able to get this relationship off the ground, because honestly I feel this person's tightly wound. I don't think you understood that, because in the past they were the balanced person to you, just the person doing their dance, doing their love dance, the person that made you happy, the person that potentially could be your king. But I think you misunderstood this person, because it seems like there's a grievous misunderstanding about this person's personality. Because they're clever, they're cunning, they're aggressive, they're loving. It's like, I don't know. being the dark and the light. And the flame all at once, concentrated into a ball of light. So you've got someone here that you don't understand. You don't understand them at all. I mean, they seem quite attractive. This whole light, dark, hot, cold. Seems very attractive, but they are essentially a snake. Or they can be the snake. So they're really confrontational. Like you'd imagine a god to be. A DOG. That's what this person is. A DOG. So I suggest you have to be very careful, because they're after you. They have intense feelings of love towards you and devotion. But this is a person that can spack out at any time. So I'll just get another overall energy card for this person that my channel viewer is asking about. Yeah. Typhon, anger, rage. Look at him. So that's what I could see. The devil. Like a spiny serpent. But much worse than that. This person is smart. They're brainy. But there's an internal rage in them that cannot be controlled. You have to be careful, because even though I feel this person could probably be really good in bed, they could probably use control tactics on you quite easily and entrap you. And I can see he's one sexy mother. But I think we've seen this guy before. This is a powerful enemy to some people. A powerful enemy or a powerful ally. That's the impression I get. And there's a fire in this person that can't be, that he is intelligent enough to change his skin. He can change his skin around you and make himself seem like he or she is the balanced type. And I say he because it's a god, but it can be he or she because that's what we're asking. But look at the difference. The balanced person, the devil, Typhon, the rage. Balance and rage, that's what he is. He's balance and rage. But it also confirms it here. And it says Yes, that's because he's a shapeshifter. But he is really that on the inside. He's not that. So I feel that you have to be cautious, because this is a guy you would be supremely attracted to because of his strength of character, or apparent strength of character, and his coolness, and the combination of both. But he's a shapeshifter. He's two different people, and I feel that he's obsessed with you. He or she is obsessed with you. Okay, so that was deck 2. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below, with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service, and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings if you'd like to take a look. See you next time.